you beautiful people, and welcome back to Solonia. I am your DM, Lucy, and as always, I'm happy that you decided to join us for another epic tale. I hope you have all had a wonderful week so far, and while you're here, remember to kick back, relax, and crack open a cold one with us here at TLC. Cheers, everybody. Oh, for sure. Alrighty, guys.
Just shotgun all of them.
Before we get into it, let's do, of course, our little bit of housekeeping stuff, as always. So, thank you to Sirenscape for your music and to Fantasy Grounds for the platform we play on. You guys continue to impress, so thank you for all of your hard work. This week, for our Twitter shout-out, we got Gareth Richardson. So thank you for the engagement in our Twitter there, Gareth. And he seems to be a DM with large dreams. And he has, he mentioned a character like a Medusa Warlock and a Warforged Bard. These all seem really interesting, Gareth, so I look forward to seeing what you have to tell us about it later on. So go check him out, everybody, if you have some time and want to support another DM or channel. And as always, links will be down in the description for everybody that I've mentioned. Finally, like every week, I will not start without saying thank you to the viewers, you guys, obviously, and my wonderful friends/players. Without you, this community would not exist, and I appreciate every single one of you for all of the support. If you are looking to support the channel a step further, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for us here at Dungeons of TLC. So, without further ado, let's jump back into the world of Solonia and have a nice relaxed session of RP, no dying. I'm ready just to see what everyone can do. Chapter 5, Part 4, This World's Alive. Last episode, we found our adventurers in a very precarious situation. Aristia, Trinistats, Triniel, Agony, and Celica were fighting for their very lives against a foe that seemed to be darkness itself. Nova was starting to shake off whatever effect that was going on while he was turned into the fox caused by Otakimaru, and as time went on, Nova met with the Gloomia guards, and he decided to take one of the bandit guards that they kept alive as prisoner to show him the way through the tunnels. After passing through the tunnels and avoiding some traps, the criminal led him to a door. And when Nova heard fighting and lots of blades colliding, he rushed to the entrance, and unfortunately the bandit pushed him on through, dropped a smoke bomb, and then locked the door behind Nova. While this was all going on, blood was flowing with our other party members, holding on to dear life. The person that they were fighting was using darkness to his advantage, and while bending the darkness to his own whim. During at which point, he casted a move not yet seen in the D&D universe called Eternal Darkness, or, I don't remember what I actually put it. You know what, that's awkward. I'm gonna get back to you guys on that. And envelop the party into a magical darkness, causing darkness in the process where they could not see. It was at this moment that Agony crashed down to the ground, while the other members were together, huddled in the light. The individual took his blade as they watched helplessly, and the blade was dragged along Agony's neck, causing a large cut in her throat. In what seemed to be wind itself, Nova seemingly showed up out of nowhere and saved Agony with literally seconds to spare. I want the viewers and my players to remember that the total number to save Agony in that moment was 35, and when Nova rolled his 4d20s, he rolled a 40, literally 5 points away from our very first player, PK. It was in this moment that Nova realized that he was fighting his brother, and even when in the darkness, he could see his brother's movements. Suddenly, his brother, enraged by being bombarded by Aristia, teleported near her and decimated her to an unconscious state. While at death's door, Aristia and the party looked on as he raised his sword to deliver the final blow, but Nova, with lightning reflexes, cut his brother down, tears in his eyes. It's dark, cold, yes, even for you, Aristia, as strange as this sounds. You have never felt this way in your previous travels, but now it's been twice, since you have nearly died on your adventures with this band of travelers. You have a moment of looking over to Nova, who is weeping, and you have a sudden pang in your heart. almost like you understand the very pain Nova is going through. There is a small breeze inside the place, but you all wonder about the secrets that may lie in these tunnels or inside these ruins. You all see Aristia and Agony in terrible shape. Aristia has a large cut along her throat, along her body, and along her face, bleeding out as time goes on. Agony's throat, nearly being severed, needs medical attention as soon as possible. What are you guys currently doing? Let me pull up the map so we can all see what's going on and get some mood music going. So before we go any further, how are my players doing tonight? How is everyone doing?
I'm depressed.
Yes, Nova is very depressed. Absolutely.
Player too.
All right. Let's do
Life
this.
is pain, and I'm here to fix the pain. Somehow.
Alrighty,
Cool.
guys.
I don't believe you. It's like 2 seconds.
That was an error. I'm not just saying ignore that.
Can you guys see the map?
I can see it.
Yep.
Yes.
Beautiful. All right.
Talking cheese.
So, Agony, you found yourself kind of leaning up against along the small half-stone pillar that is right next to you. And you are currently sitting, like, holding your throat as best as you can to stench the bleeding. You also have, Celica, you notice the severity of each of their wounds, and you are worried about them, like, having any type of repercussions from everything. Due to your cuts and your wounds, they obviously need to be seen by a professional, preferably in a medical bed, to get stitched up, all that good stuff. So I need both Agony and Aristia to please roll a Constitution saving throw. Okay.
How's a 17?
Excuse me. Both of you feel like you are stable right now. With the different things that you are able to do, you both have seen your fair share of battles throughout your lives, to where this, to you, is just another day in, your crazy life. So, what's everyone else doing?
I'm gonna move up to Aristia's side. Are you doing all right?
She is going to start getting up, and the moment she starts to move, all that pain from everything is just going to hit her, and she's going to squeak from the pain, lay back down, and just realize how badly she is hurting right now.
Curtis is just gonna grimace at the noise and be like, I'm guessing no, you're not doing all right. Not at all.
For the first moment, she just ignores what you said, and she just reaches towards her face, and she's going to start tracing the cut that is on her face. Where is the cut exactly? Can you describe it?
So the cut itself is from the left side of your forehead going down across the top of your nose to your right cheek. It's a good cut.
As she's tracing it, she's also using prestidigitation, but she's still moving slower than you would expect if that was the only thing she's doing. And you can probably tell that her hand's shaking a little bit.
All right.
I'm just gonna kind of get up kind of close to her face. Is everything all right? Yeah, you aren't saying anything.
Yes, I'm fine.
Is there anything we could do to... Celica, do you know anything to help her?
I can try, but I'm also wounded, so it's better if we can get them somewhere with a doctor.
Celica, as you move in that general direction, Nova, you notice that Celica is about to step on your brother's corpse. Anything, Nova?
What?
Celica just moved slightly, and it looks like she is about to step on your brother's corpse. You can't see the body. I'm sorry, guys. I just remembered every time we relaunch, you can't see that.
Nice one.
There we go. Do you do anything about it, Nova, or do you just let it happen?
If I may ask, Celica, would you please be mindful of where you're stepping?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
It's
And
fine.
I will go around here.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a perception check on the wounds themselves to see what I can notice, both on Agony and Aristia.
So with the perception check, you can notice that their skin is slightly singed by something magical at this point. You can tell that this is not a normal cut, and you have no idea what repercussions this might bring.
These cuts are really weird. And I'm gonna glance at the sword that Nova's brother dropped, and I'm gonna start motioning my way towards it.
So you start walking towards the brother's sword, and with a 22, you can tell just by looking at the blade itself, you can see that it's a little different than Nova's. Unlike a traditional samurai sword where it's just a completely razored sharp edge, like completely clean down, you can see that along the edges itself are small little indents or nicks or grooves to make it slightly serrated. So as this character was cutting down through the flesh, it not only cut in, but it also tore everything that was like it was sliding through for more bleeding damage.
When you mentioned that the wounds are weird, Arissa just puts her hand over the wounds.
This sword is honestly downright savage, and I'm gonna pick up the sword.
Okay. So you go ahead and you pick up the sword. Nova, do you do
I
anything?
think Fox is trying to say something, but it's
What?
not coming through.
Well, it's my fan. 'Cause,
Oh, okay.
California is shit.
Is it hot in California today, Fox?
It's summer. Well, we'll just let you think about that one.
Yeah, all right. I'll take that. But yes, so you
Yeah.
see Trinisat's picking up your brother's sword, Nova.
Oh, you want me to say things?
You can just say things whenever you want. It's okay.
Yeah, you can literally say things whenever you want. You don't need to wait.
Egg.
Okay. So Trinisets, you are able to pick up his sword. Like, Nova doesn't seem to mind. You are looking at it. The sheath itself is like it's almost like a black crimson, like a blackish blue color. Almost like a little darker than navy blue. And the pattern along the blade itself, there's like little black specks and spots. And then at the very end of the hilt is a blackish looking jewel.
I'm gonna glance at Nova. I suppose you'd be the next owner of this anyways, since this was your brother. And I'm going to offer it over to him.
Let's just take it without looking.
The weight of this sword, Nova, is immense. Just the pure raw emotion that you're feeling right now, this sword feels like a ton, and it just, your hand grabs it, but with little effort to holding it up, you just kind of, your hands fall to your side.
Is there anything we can do to, like, I don't know, deal with the Agony and Aristia's wounds for now at least, until we can get them back to Glumia?
Does anyone have some cloth I could use as bandages?
I'm gonna look back towards Nova's brother, his like cape he had,
Yep.
and I'm just gonna move over to it and, without disturbing the body too much, try to like rip off most of it without damaging the image in the center of it.
Well, fortunately, the head, try to think of this cape as something that, fit over the head and then was just tied like around the neck. So once Nova decapitated his brother, he actually cut right through the cape itself, and now it's just a piece of cloth lying on the ground.
Okay.
So
So I'm just gonna take that and offer it over.
Who are you offering it to?
Celica.
Okay.
I'm not sure what this image is though either. Should we hold on to that? Tear it off? Let's figure out something with this?
That's a good idea.
And I'm gonna glance over at Nova again. Do you know what this image is?
What? The image of what?
So the image,
well-
oh, sorry, go ahead. Would you like to remember?
Yes, if I remember correctly, it is pretty much a black hand holding onto a eye with a slitted pupil and kind of just clutching it, I think.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's right. Nova, you just to speed up the history check and whatnot, because you wouldn't have recognized this symbol. It has absolutely nothing to do with your family. But what I will say, oh, go ahead.
The symbol is from a group who have been doing things they should not have been for a while now. How long did the book imply that they were doing things?
Hundreds and hundreds of years.
I'll just mention that the group has been around for at least 100 years, but people don't really understand what they're doing.
What is this group? I don't have a name for this.
There's no name that I know of.
Okay. So Celica, do you take this cloth and begin to rip it up into cloth-like fragments to start bandaging and whatnot?
Yes, but I will leave the symbol alone. I will leave that part out.
And I'll actually pocket that and just shove it in the saddlebag on my side.
Okay, sounds good. So, Celica, as you grab a hold of the cloth, you feel uneasy about it, and something doesn't feel right to you just from your magical essence that you personally have. The cloth itself seems tainted of some kind.
Maybe this isn't the best to be putting on someone's wound. I don't feel right about this.
Does anybody else have anything then? I'm gonna look at Trinail. Do you have anything?
I'll look in the medical bag I got from Barkwood, from the doctor there. Do I have anything that could cover up wounds in there?
Absolutely. In fact, you notice a small little bag that wasn't inside your medical pouch before. And when you open it up, you recognize it to be some like herbs that you recognize from Teresa's hut. And you begin to think in the back of your head that Teresa might have actually slipped this into your medical bag when you weren't paying attention.
That might come in handy at some point. I'll pull up some cloths from that bag.
All right. So the cloth here, to bandage them up properly, it's like a fairly big roll, since if I remember correctly, you paid a pretty price for this one. But unfortunately, with the wounds and everything that they are suffering through, it will actually take the full charge of that cloth. So if you bandage them up here in the field, you will have no cloth in your medical pouch.
Well, I didn't pay shit for that. I just got it from the doctor. I yoinked it.
That's right. Good stuff. You got it from Dr. Riff, right?
Yes.
Yes, now I remember. All right. So yes, you have plenty of stuff inside there to do it, but there is no more cloth. All right.
I'll give it to Celica. In the meantime, I will inspect the wound I got from getting stabbed. Because you did mention internal bleeding.
Yeah, we had
last
internal
session.
bleeding.
That's a really good and really good call that you remembered that. Go ahead and take a look at your body with a medicine check.
With him doing that, I'm also gonna look at myself.
Uh-huh. Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything looks good.
Everything is not fine.
Okay.
So, Celica, I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay.
As you are all standing around one another, Celica begins to start to rip cloth and everything across. And Celica, as you do, your hands grow weak, and you drop the cloth onto the ground, and your hands begin to violently shake, and you cough,
Do I see this?
and blood is starting to come out of your mouth. And as you look down, yes, and you do see this, Trinistats. As you look down,
I'm gonna move up next to her right away too.
as you look down towards your stomach where you were stabbed through with this weird-looking sword, you can see that the wound there actually starts to move, in your entire right side of your stomach is like a dark reddish-looking color. And you collapse down to the ground.
I punch her.
You are currently in a state where you can't be punching anybody right now, Agony.
I don't want to punch her.
Before Celica hits the ground, I do want to try and catch her, so she doesn't hit the ground too hard.
Go ahead and roll a dexterity save, please. Or you could do whatever is higher, like, for your dexterity.
Oh, just do a standard check. That seems more appropriate to me.
So with your dragon-like reflexes, you're able to go, and your entire body can't get there, but you end up stretching your wing out almost like a recliner, to where she just kind of slides down it onto the floor. And Celica,
Celica,
you feel
okay?
your breath leaving you.
That wound. Please, if you got stabbed, please check your wounds.
Remember,
And I did check myself over, so did I have any wounds of note?
so as you personally look down, your wound doesn't seem to be moving as much as hers. And it might be due, Trinistats, to just the sheer size of your body, where when it stabbed or went through you, it might not have nicked anything really, important. But unfortunately, with the nick that Celica suffered, something could have nicked her internal, could have hit her liver, her stomach. She seems to be internally bleeding quite a bit at the moment.
All right, I am going to just try and put some pressure, some light pressure on the wound in order to stem the bleeding as best I can.
There is
Man, I
there
will
is
assist with that.
there is no bleeding. She's not cut open or anything. She's just internally bleeding. Her skin is completely closed off. So there's no wound.
Well, I'll keep my knowledge to the minimum.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. So we need to get out of here. We need to get somewhere to help the others.
Well,
No,
as far as I know, the general should be outside, right?
The corporal or
I don't know,
captain
Missy.
that Nova might know, yeah.
Well, come on. We can hoist them up between the three of us, I'm sure. And I'm gonna try and get underneath Celica to lift her up on my back.
So you do this easy enough. Celica is incredibly light. And at this point, she doesn't have a ton of Celica, you don't have a ton of strength. You can't, you get him up on your back, but you can barely, keep yourself on him as much as you struggle.
Well, I'm gonna just hitch my wings up so she can't really roll one way or the other.
Okay. Trinistats, you feel Celica's blood literally just start to go onto your back and go down your body. And in your mind, you are slowly becoming panicked at what's going on. Alrighty.
I'm gonna look at Nova. Come on, Nova. We have to hurry.
I'll look at Aristia and Agony. I suppose. Can you two walk? We need to get out of here.
Yeah. That's a good question, Lucy. Can I walk?
So, Agony, you are able to get up, and with a lot of pressure onto your throat, personally, with your own cloth that you stuffed inside your wound from last session, you're able to get up. You're very much at a no fighting ability sort of thing. Your ki in your body seems to really be hurting. Aristia, you can't get up on your own.
I'll try to get her up and grab her onto my shoulder as best as I can.
Okay. So I'm not gonna have you roll for it, but what I will say is while you have Aristia on you and that you're helping her along, just like traditional D&D rules, your movement is cut in half. Okay.
I'm gonna look at Nova then.
Yep.
What is Nova doing?
Nova, what are you doing, brother?
Being depressed.
Okay. So I would assume you're kneeling down on the ground, looking at your brother, and kind of like an anime where they're staring blankly at something. I would assume you're just staring blankly at your brother's corpse.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand at him and kind of like shake him with it.
Okay.
Nova, come on. We can't just leave them here. They're gonna be even more. The rest of them are going to die if we don't get them somewhere where we can help them. The body isn't going to go anywhere.
Just go then.
All right, fine. Come on, Triniel. I guess there's not much else we can do. Where did you come from anyways, Nova?
Can I get the arrow?
So just roughly that direction.
Yep.
How do I...
If you
That direction?
Yeah. Like I'm yeah, up in this direction. I pointed here, but it was yeah.
Okay. So with that, him pointing out the direction, I'm gonna start making my way over there.
Before I go, I'm just gonna cast Mage Hand and slap Nova.
Okay. And so a mage hand
Give him some time.
forms, slaps Nova across the face, but nothing seemed like, he just takes it and then he slowly turns his head back to his brother.
Just give him some time, Trinio.
I know, it's just wrong time, wrong place.
Aristia will cast Mage Hand, pat Nova on the shoulder, pick up her sword, and start going.
Okay.
As I'm making my way over here, is there anything I notice with this fancy perception button? Nope.
You notice that there is a door right here that seems to be slammed shut.
Moving up to the door, is it openable?
It is not openable at this point. You look at it, there isn't necessarily like a doorknob or anything like that. Unfortunately, it seems like it's opened on the other side.
Son of a bitch. Is there any kind of like underside, like can I see under the door or anything like that?
So think of the ground as like stone, and then the door itself is also stone. So as it shuts, there isn't anything to like slide anything under. You couldn't even slide a piece of thin paper underneath it. It's that tight.
Okay, it's a stone door that pretty much fell
Right.
in some way down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna turn back around. It's blocked off, and I'm gonna cast Dancing Lights and get some more light going just in general around the area here. So I'm gonna set it up right. Let me get the tool. Something right there. Something right over here. Something right here.
start maybe making my way over there. Inspect the
And a
path
light right there.
that's out there.
Got it. Let me put your stuff down there for dancing lights. I love this program. Dancing light is 10 feet, right, for your lights, each of them, or is it 15?
10 sounds right. 10 and 10, bright and dim.
Yep. Dim light, 10-foot radius.
Okay, got it. There you go. So these orbs are just kind of like bouncing around on the ground, almost like from Final Fantasy, where those little little spirits are bouncing around. All right. All right, back to play mode.
I'm just gonna carefully make my way up these stairs so I don't drop anybody.
Roger that. Hold up, guys. Like, for some reason, your arrows and whatnot kind of glitched out for me on my end. Alright, try that again, Aristia. There you go. Okay. So are you going to remain on Trinistats' back there, Celica? Yeah, so just make sure that you're staying with him. Okay.
So when I get up here, do I notice the source of this weird light?
You do, actually. And it is a chest of some sort that is located there. And I don't have a token or anything, so use your imagination for this one. The token itself is, there is horns on this chest, and it is red, as could possibly be. The chest itself is more rectangular in sense, so not too big, and it's flat, almost as though that you couldn't really put anything in here besides paper.
But it's just like a thin, small chest on the ground, pretty much.
Correct. Yep.
This is weird. And I'm gonna move up to it. Does anything seem particularly out of the ordinary outside of its weird appearance?
Not at all. In fact, Celica, as you're on his back, you can still sense things, obviously. You don't even sense any, harmful magic coming from it.
All right, and with that, I'm going to just kind of open it.
And you open it up, just fair enough, and a bunch of dust ends up spitting out at you. And what you see is just a rolled up piece of paper. And as you kind of take it on out, it takes a different shape, almost like a scroll, and just kind of like it was never pressed by this box, ends up in a scroll just in your hands.
That's really odd. So I'm gonna make an Arcana check on the scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Is it magic?
This map is beaming with Arcana. This thing literally, as you are looking at it, this thing doesn't even seem to be paper. It seems to be magic that is threaded between each other over and over and over again.
Well, I guess I can look at this later. I think it's time for that. And I'm going to stuff it in my saddlebag as well.
I see
And-
that, or because of where I'm at, I don't see it.
You don't
I'm
see it.
across from it.
You're currently dazed with looking at your brother. All right, so you do all that. Celica, let me take a look at you, please. Celica, you take 6 points of damage. Your gut wrenches, and you begin to cough violently, and you feel blood suddenly just spit out onto Trinistats' back as it starts to slide down your back, Trinistats.
Celica?
Sorry, but we need to go.
with that, I'm going to turn and start making my way down this way. Did anybody else find anything or a way out?
Come this way. There seems to be a path that way. I don't know where it'll lead.
All right, I'm gonna make my way down there. Follow the sound of his voice.
Okay. Nova, before we go any further, what are you doing currently?
Right. I decide to stand up, and I'm not going to leave my brother here, as he's deserves a proper burial, so I am going to take his body.
Okay.
I'm also gonna take my lights and start bringing them with me towards this way and start lighting up the path in front of us.
Got it. All right. So, Triniel, you notice a series of
Gonna check. Go on.
you notice a series of doorways. Each of these doorways are exactly like before, like with the stone door that you saw earlier, but this time around they seem as though that you can open them. They have metal handle or metal rings that you would see like on a bull's nose, for example. They are literally just around the doorknob, and they seem like you can pull on them.
I'm gonna open the one right in front of me.
Okay. It opens up easy enough, so go ahead and click on it. And as you look in, you see a series of boxes and a strange, large greatsword that is currently on the desk.
How good is the greatsword looking?
The greatsword itself, it looks to be like in good shape, but it is dirty and dusty as could possibly be at this point.
I'll just grab it.
All right. As you
Is there anything else in there that we can use?
There doesn't, like, there seems to be a bunch of boxes that you could take some time to look through if you wanted to.
We
Triniel,
don't have the time to look at that.
as soon as you pick up the sword, you hear a voice inside your head. And you hear the words, "Good choice."
Not another voice.
I like good choices, not in this place, dude.
All right.
I'm gonna make my way over to this door then,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna press the open button.
Go ahead and click it.
What do my special eyes see?
So your dragon eyes, you end up seeing a bunch of skeletal corpses. In fact, you see that this used to be like a really old dungeon. And inside here, you notice some armor that is fairly interesting on one of the skull's corpses. In fact, it doesn't appear like it should even be there at all.
I don't like that there's nice things in there, yet there's a bunch of dead bodies. I'm gonna send one of my dancing lights in, just kind of like in the center of the room, right? Gosh, stop it. There.
As your dancing light goes in, you just see it bouncing on the ground. Boop, boop, boop. And as it gets to that like area that you just that you triggered there, you just hear a violent wind, and then it just completely vanishes.
I'm gonna look at the others. I don't think we should go in there. There's something going on in that room.
Try the next one then. The next and last one.
Okay.
Paper.
As you look
And
on
bloody
in,
diary.
as you look on in, there is indeed a bloody diary as well as some paperwork that is currently on the desk itself.
I'll just make an Arcana check if there's any sort of magic in there first.
So you don't notice any type of arcana just by being in the presence. You are looking around, but your eyes, Triniel, are very much drawn to that book.
I'll grab the book. I am very curious about this.
So you grab the book, and you hear another voice in the back of your mind. Good, Triniel. Good. Do you put the book inside your bag?
Is this the same voice that's been following me for years, or is it a new
Yes,
one?
it is. Yep. Glad that I'm glad I got it down. That's what I was hoping you'd think.
Yeah. I was not sure. It was like, it does really sound like it. Yeah, I'll put it in my bag.
You end up hearing some footsteps from behind you guys, and you see Nova carrying his brother's head in one hand. Nova somehow wrapped up the sheath and everything, and now has two samurai swords, like one on his right and one on his left hip. And then he has his brother's body over his right shoulder and the head in his left hand.
I'm just not really gonna say anything.
When you said there was a burst of wind, right? When Triniel did did the light on
Yep.
skeleton with armor, right?
Yep.
Did I hear that?
You did not. In fact, since you weren't with the group at the time, you did not hear anything that happened.
I was waiting for you to move me.
I want to look around for a moment. Is there anything at all out of the ordinary?
So there doesn't seem to be any type of... Well, go ahead and roll an investigation.
Oh, an investigation. Excuse me.
With that investigation, Trinistats, you notice that there are drag marks actually on this entire floor. And in fact, the drag marks themselves seems to be right around here. You don't understand like what made those specific marks itself because there's nothing there, but you would assume something either big or heavy was moved from this hallway.
I'm just gonna kind of scratch at the marks a little bit
Like
and look around.
a thing.
There's
Yep.
marks on the ground.
If I were to look around the room, would I make an investigation check?
Sure. What are you looking for specifically?
I just won't look around.
Okay.
That's a number.
So as you are looking around, you see that obviously some of the doors have been opened and things along that line. And you notice like a big piece of armor that is currently in the corner. It looks like medieval armor that you would see that the knights would be wearing and whatnot, but there seems to be something a little more to this than meets the eye. Do with that information as you will, Fox. When I talk to you, you can always communicate back.
Heck.
Okay. So,
All right. So
going...
I actually want to investigate around the area with the marks a bit more. Is there anything like next to this wall or weird panels, anything like that?
So, Celica, you end up as Trinosauros is moving around, you are groggily, almost as though that you are waking up from a really bad hangover. You look over at these scratches and then you look up the wall and you can see what appears to be thieves' cant on the door itself. Or on the wall, excuse me.
There's some writing here.
And
Where?
unfortunately...
And I'm going to look up as best I can.
So, unfortunately, Trinostats, you just see scratches on the wall and you don't quite understand what Celica is talking about. But I would assume that Celica would point to draw you closer. And so as you get her closer to the wall, Celica, again, it's really hard for you to maintain your focus at this point because you feel as though that your insides are on fire. You can see that that it says, like, on the wall it says, "I will show you the way if you only open your eyes."
I will relay that to the party, but halfway through I will start coughing again.
That's right, because you take an additional 4 damage. Alrighty. So, Celica relays that, and again it says, "I will show you the way only if you open your eyes."
I'm gonna sit there and try and ponder for a minute. I will open the way, but only if you open your eyes. I'm gonna close my eyes in front of it, and then open them again.
Wow, you blinked. Good for you. Like, yeah, like that did a lot.
I don't get this. What is it asking for? Some kind of magic?
Maybe extinguish the dancing light.
Well, it doesn't hurt, and I'll extinguish it.
All lights around you?
Yeah, I guess. As long as nobody else has a problem with it, I'm probably gonna knock out all the lights, or just. Do you guys have a preference? I suppose.
I don't think it's asking for the light.
Well, it doesn't hurt to try necessarily. I could just make more lights.
No, that's not it. You don't know where we're at, aren't we?
No.
We don't have time for riddles. Go.
You know what to do, then do it.
So, as I say that, my right eye changes to the eye of a Takamaru.
Mm-hmm. And as you are looking around, Nova, go ahead and roll an investigation check. Nothing seems to be like different in this area, but what you do notice is that Trinistat's bag seems to be on fire.
The Trinistats?
Yes.
Do I notice this?
Well, and what I mean by on fire, excuse me, I should have like elaborated. There's just a lot of arcana stemming out of his bag at the moment.
What is in your bag, Trinistats?
I'm gonna open it up. I just picked out this. It was in a box up towards the whatever that place is on the altar, I guess.
Okay.
And I'm gonna investigate the scroll now. Is it like some kind of spell scroll, or? And I'm gonna open it.
As you open it up, what you end up seeing is nothing but a blank sheet of paper. But like I mentioned to you before, this isn't paper. This is like pure arcana that is threaded together. And what you end up noticing out of this is the paper itself and the way in front of you seems to be shimmering slightly. And did you turn off all the lights?
Aristia sheathed the sword when Trinistats took off the lights.
Okay, so
I
you
thought
did.
I thought it was convincing him not
Yep,
to.
I did.
Okay, you did. You hear a very loud groan coming from this very room that you guys chose to stay out of.
What was that? I'm gonna look at Nova. Go take a look real quick.
You go look. You do it.
Doesn't
He's
let
not
me
the one
really-
who's messed up and hurt.
doesn't really let me explain myself, but okay.
The room that they were looking at,
The wrong one.
where that was this
Oh.
one.
Oh. Oh.
You end up seeing a large, black-looking wolf with, on the actual hair itself, is riddled with nothing but little blue sparks of energy along its spine. Its teeth are gnarled looking and just kind of looking at you. And Aristia, you said you had the sword out.
My sword is sheathed right now because Trinstat's turned off his lights, so.
Gotcha. So your sword is currently sheathed. You, Nova, you see this big looking thing, and it just kind of snarls at you, but doesn't seem to be leaving the room itself.
What is it? Nova?
Nova, are you paying attention?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just...
What is it?
That's something beyond your understanding. Where are we at right now? Does not belong here.
Doesn't belong here. Do you have an idea of what it is?
By any chance of any of you are passing by graves?
And you think about that for a moment, and you guys remember passing the statues in the very beginning, but you don't remember passing any graves or anything like that.
Graves, yeah.
I don't remember any graves specifically. I don't remember much coming down here.
The Gloomy Empire is questioning why I was not affected by it. This is of what of my clan? A burial of yokais.
And Nova, once you say that, the look inside the face and the wolf that you are looking at slowly just fades away into darkness, and you don't see the wolf anymore once you say the word yokai.
Do I notice like a distinct lack of noise now?
You very much do. Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna inch over towards Nova's side and glance into the room.
And you see a completely black, looking room. No lights or anything inside of it. Celica. You take an additional 5 damage. I'm going to reset my timer. Okay. All right.
Nova, do you know how you said this was a burial site, right, for your people?
I did.
Do you know how these are set up, like a way we can get out?
I don't. We're not talking Irish right now.
You hear a voice in the back of your head, so you're not actually talking out loud this time, Nova, but just Otakimaru's voice. Yes. That piece of paper that he's holding, that's not just anything, that's a gateway.
Genestats.
Yes.
That paper you're holding is not any ordinary paper. That is a gateway.
A gateway to what? And I'm just gonna kind of hold it out a little bit away from me.
Now that the paper is very clear for you to see at this point, Nova, you end up seeing the words that was written in Thieves' Cant now just kind of appearing on the scroll for specifically Otakimaru as he's looking through the eye. And, as you reach on out and you touch the piece of paper, it again shimmers and a door appears right in front of you guys. almost like a magical, and then a door just appears there.
Oh. Okay, I guess you can hold on to this. Seems to work for you. I'm just going to hand it over to him. So, with that, I'm going to turn and look through the door. What do I see?
Well, first off, I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw there, Nova.
How do you get?
Pog. As you grab it, you feel a burning sensation that is currently on your hand, and in the heart, and the longer you are holding onto this, it feels like Otakimaru is suffering because of it. And you feel that pain, but you are able to fight back with that nat 20, and you just kind of drop it down to the ground because Otakimaru is part of you, so.
I assume I'll see this before I actually turn around.
Yes, you do.
Is something wrong?
To be honest, I think you better hold on to it.
Are you sure?
It doesn't affect you, but it affects me.
And with some trepidation, I'm just gonna grab it and hold it for a second loosely. Does it do anything?
Nope, doesn't do absolutely anything to you. All right, but the door is
All
right
right.
there. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna make my way to it and look through it. Where does it seem to lead?
As you open it up, you can see what appears to be like little sparkles like in stars out in a pure dark blue field, almost as though that this is a portal of some kind. Some coin. If I could talk right tonight, that'd be cool.
Well, this is the only way we have.
And yeah, taking a breath, I'm just gonna walk out. I'd rather be out there than in here at this point.
Okay. So as your first centimeter of body touches this field, it just completely sucks you in at lightning speed, and then you are just gone into the ether. Do you guys all follow?
Yes, I'll follow.
Of course. Tell them I wanted to follow.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yes.
Very true.
That's not the worst for you.
So
Death is the worst.
you all
Not
get
bragging.
sucked through, and currently, as of right now, you all appear next to one another, and this is all imagination play, so try to do your best.
Imagination.
As you are going through, it's almost as though that you are standing next to one another, and you got sucked in at lightning speed, but it's almost as though that you have been more balanced in your entire life. At this point, you seem to be in a different realm of some sorts, and around you, it seems like years upon years are flying by. And you can see underneath you images begin to form. And you see a large castle that is just out in the middle of nowhere with dragons, a big, white, beautiful dragon that seems to actually be stepping up next to the castle, almost as though that it is visiting it. And as this is all happening, you see images upon images of different types of beings, as well as these large, immaculate-looking dragons as well that are roaring on the top of their lungs. And you can see almost what appears to be the beginning of the universe itself, or if you can even fathom what it looked like in the old days. And then a moment seems to just go by, just a few seconds, and as you wake up, you are currently right outside the hole where you entered this tomb to begin with.
I'm gonna do a check.
That was a trip.
Roll me a history.
School bus.
Did I recognize anything from those visions?
You did not recognize jack shit.
Cool. Does it ring any
Ow.
bells in general to things I was told as a child?
It doesn't bring back anything per se that You know, obviously you recognize the dragons. The one thing that you do recognize, though, is the stories. The stories of what your mom said about these large dragons. And you are able to understand that potentially you might have actually got your first glimpse of what the ancient dragons looked like.
I'm just gonna take a deep breath at just the sheer majesty of what I witnessed. Just kind of
Oh.
process for a moment.
What about me? Do I have to make a roll? See if I knew anything what the hell happened.
You guys can do what you want. If you want to make a roll, you can by all means go for it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that because this whole thing spawned because of that paper that we're talking
I'm
about
gonna
right
do
now.
a history check. See if I recognize
That's
any
an
of the
18.
dragons.
Okay. Even with an 18, Celica, you know, you remember stories, and it seemed as almost that you were in a type of ethereal world to where you were almost outside. It was like almost you were having as an outside body, outside of your body experience, to where that you were in a zone where you would think that to find like celestials and things along that nature.
You see?
Yep, I'm here, guys. Like anything else?
No, did you hear what I said?
No, please go ahead.
Would I have to roll for history, or would I have to roll anything because that whole thing happened because of the paper that I touched because of Takamaru.
So you need to roll history with disadvantage, please.
Okay, that is AIDS. Yeah. Oh, well, cool. Thanks, Dad.
So, with this, you have a moment that as you're going through this realm, you feel like for a moment, you are actually split apart from Otakimaru. You feel as though that you are your own person again, Nova, and as you've never even met Otakimaru before. And as you open your eyes and you are back into the world, you realize that the realm that you probably went through was something that Otakimaru knew, but unfortunately for him, as you are starting to recollect, Otakimaru and you are coming back together as one, he just says, "What the hell happened?" All right. Anyone else want to roll?
I do want to roll, but more not about what we saw, but what happened.
Okay.
Like
go.
the whole process.
Gotcha. So go ahead and roll an Arcana. So with that, Triniel, you get the idea that what you currently passed through was more like not necessarily it was a portal to help get you from where you were to where you currently are, but it was almost as though memories collected from aeons, from hundreds and hundreds of years, to where you were passing through and seeing glimpses of what people remember. Almost as though that, your character, has a really hard time believing it. But if you were to think that there was an afterlife or was a god or something like that, that you strongly start to believe, did you just notice where spirits go after they pass? Was that a collective spiritual experience for all of you?
I'm gonna look around at the party. Does everybody seem okay? After getting chucked through.
I don't know, with that 23, maybe.
So, what you do notice is Celica is currently on the ground with her eyes open, grayed over, and her life has completely left her. We will be right back after a break, everybody.
Oh dear, the cuckening. Let's jam.
Welcome back, everybody. And we are currently in a situation. Once I show you guys the content that everybody loves to see, watch how I bring up this like combat tracker and start dragging people onto this map. Are you ready for this? Oh, here we go.
Well, I don't see the map
One.
just yet. I
Okay,
see people
ready?
disappear.
2, 3. Oristi, you're coming up. 3.
Oh, no,
there
oh,
you
fuck.
go. Agony. 4.
You've been
Yeah. Celica. Triniel.
Hey, give me that last place.
Yes.
You've been given last place.
All
By
right.
default,
And here's your map.
give me the juice.
So, right now, your bodies, you are literally sweat incarnate. You guys feel as though that you went through a dryer over and over and over again, and you went through the desert. You know, you feel as though that every ounce of oxygen, every ounce of fluid was just left your body while you're in that realm. You guys are incredibly dehydrated. You all have level 2 exhaustion. And on top of that, Celica, in fact, is currently lying on the ground next to you all, lifeless.
What happened? And I'm gonna look around. And I assume I see Celica on the ground there.
You do see Celica on the ground, and her skin seems paler than normal.
I'm gonna immediately move over to her. Celica! Celica! And I'm going to shake her briefly.
And it's like shaking a rag doll. Like she's just literally lying there.
I'm gonna bring my ear next to her mouth, see if I can hear anything.
Go ahead and roll a medicine check. Okay. You, like, in the panic, you are freaking out to the point where you don't really understand what's going on, but you don't hear any breathing. You have a spark of inspiration, and you remember that, wait, Triniel, like, he's kind of a medic.
Renale, get over here. What's going on?
I'll inspect her and try to see what's the problem. And I'll yell at someone to go get the general if they have a field medic.
If there's someone that wants to volunteer to go run on out.
I'm gonna look at Nova. Nova, please. Go, please.
You said she didn't have any cuts, correct?
Just get somebody.
Answer me!
We've all been attacked. We've all been cut by that stupid sword. Just
Was
get
she?
somebody. Yes.
Is there any cuts on her?
Not visibly. It's just. And I'm gonna look at her, and I assume it's just those same markings, right?
Yep. In fact, that the blackness that was on her chest has now made it all the way up and seems to be covering her heart.
It's. I don't know what it is. It's.
Well, no medic is gonna do something about that.
What do you mean? Then what can we do?
Stop.
Remember what I explained in the
speaking in riddles.
sewers? I'm not speaking in riddles. Remember what happened in the sewers? You couldn't tell what was on me, couldn't you? This is beyond understanding because this is not magic.
No, I'm not letting her die here. I promise.
I don't want to let her die too.
And as I'm saying this, you'll start to see some fire kind of just brimming around Trinis's chest, and it just start growing across his body and wings. I'm not gonna let her die here.
Well,
I
I may
won't.
be able
I
to
promised.
do something.
And I'm just gonna turn to her and kind of grab her, bring her close to me. I won't let you die. And I'm going to use an ability.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
Do you want to explain this entire ability, as this is homebrew for our viewers and well as everyone else?
It's a big one.
So the flames that are growing across his body just continue to like get hotter and warmer, and they start to like almost overcome his form before suddenly bursting out across all of you, everybody in this room. But when the flames go over you, they just seem to kind of warp around and over you, and instead of the fiery pain you would feel otherwise, you feel like your wounds are slowly knitting together. Your strength is just returning to your bodies, and almost like energy is surging within all of you. And basically, that means everybody here is going to get a 3d8 worth of healing.
Okay.
So 11 plus my spell modifier is going to be, as soon as I find the right stuff, it should be 13, I think, right? Or is it plus proficiency as well?
Plus proficiency.
All right, so 3, 5, that's 16 health for everybody.
Damn.
Oh, shame.
So as this fire is currently wrapping around each and every single one of you, you do feel that warmth that Trinistats was talking about throughout this entire process. Agony, the mark that is currently on your throat, it seemed as though that the fire was wrapping around your neck at just incredible speeds. And as you kind of stretch, you can feel your neck, and you feel as though that complete cut is just gone, and it's almost as though that nothing was ever there to begin with. Aristia, you feel the same way. However, the marks that are currently on your body, you can still feel that there's slight open wounds, but it definitely helped. In Trinistats, as you are looking down with hope in your eyes, you can look down at Celica, and yet her face and everything is still pale. It didn't do anything for Celica. Or at least you don't think it did.
I'm just gonna rear my head back and my head's just gonna shake back and forth.
Nova, is there anything you can do?
And I'm gonna look at Nova like, just eyes pleading.
If there is, not perfected it, but I think there is.
Please.
Just lay
Better than
her
nothing.
on the ground. I may be able to do something about that darkness.
Please do it.
So Celica, Nova, do you kneel down beside her?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Should I go to the right of her?
To the left of her makes more sense.
Well, shit. I'm moving over there. Okay.
That's fine. You can be there too.
Okay. So as I kneel down, I grab my right arm, and it starts making a shadow claw. And as it is forming, I hover it over Celica's body, in the hope to pull, let's say, darkness out of her body, and for me to consume that said darkness.
So you end up doing exactly as you say, and there is definitely a residue of darkness, primarily as well over her eyes. And you can see the darkness itself leaping out at you. And then you get to a certain point, though, Norva, where you feel incredibly nauseous. And Otaki Maru forces your hand to snap back. And he's just like, "Stop! That's going to kill us. She's gone. That's it." And you have the realization, Nova, that you actually cannot consume this much darkness. And you look over at Trinistats, and you relay this information to you. And Trinistats, you have never truly felt this mournful in your entire life towards someone other than, you know, your family. And a singular tear ends up forming and then just drops onto Celica's cheek and then goes down into her mouth. Celica, take a walk with me. All right, my friend. How are you feeling? Tell the viewers.
I'm very stressed. Oh.
All right. Celica, you have a moment where you were traveling through that rift or whatever it was, that different plane. And it was almost as though that you end up seeing... One moment, let me take a look. Freaking Hayan. It is almost as though that your body left without you and that you are currently in this world, or you are still in the portal, trapped, floating around in ethereal form, and you just hear wailing and crying all around you. And you see that same exact gate that looked out, you know, that your friends, that you saw everyone leading towards. And then you feel as though that light is slowly beginning to shrink. What do you do?
I'm going to run out towards it and try to call out to them if I can't get through it.
You are, as you are trying to run in place, it's like there is no ground around you. And as you're starting to flap, essentially just trying to claw at the light, it doesn't seem like there's anything there. And then you hear a voice that is just right around you at this time. And you see, you hear a specific voice. My poor child. Is something the matter? And then as you look to your left, you see Viceroy and his arms crossed, just kind of floating in the air right next to you. And he looks over. That light, it's starting to close. And he just kind of looks back at the light, and without moving his head, slowly moves his eyes back onto you. Aren't you gonna go? Or are you going to leave your friends behind?
I'm trying to. I don't know how to get to them.
And he just kind of, oh my god, like, I'm sorry to break the immersion. People are just messaging me like crazy. They're so worried about you. So Viceroy, again, kind of floats around you, and you can tell that he is moving around very quickly. And he just says, this realm, it's not so easy. It's not like the actual solid ground that you walk on. You need to feel that you want something and push yourself towards that goal. Now, your friend Nova loves to speak in riddles. I'm not going to tell you that, but what I will say, if you don't figure this out, you're not leaving this realm. In fact, and he points in a general direction, and you see a massive, and I mean a gigantic, huge cobra just going to, like, looking down at you. and you see a massive snake tongue release from its mouth, and you just see it slithering towards you. By the time that snake gets to you, all of this will be just a dream to you. And you realize that snake, and he whispers into your ear, remember that snake that your boy Trinio worships? And he grabs your shoulders and just puts you right in front of it. That's Dendar. That's the one that he worships. Do you think that Triniel is worth tagging along with? And he throws your body in a way where you are violently just shaking around and around and around. And finally you stop again and you are able to kind of balance yourself. And he just ends up right next to you. I can help you, you know. I can help you get back to your friends. What say you, Celica? Would you like me to help you get back to your friends? Or I just want you to understand, there is a cost for doing so.
What exactly is that cost?
And he puts his hands behind his head. Oh, not much. But you see that little light inside your chest? Yes. I'm talking to you, Persephone. And one of your eyes, from the traditional colors of yours, turns over to a more, like, again, a gold, vibrant color, and you can hear someone speaking through you. She has nothing to do with you, Viceroy. Leave her! And then he just, again, laughs. That's not the deal. Persephone, either you come with me, or your chosen one can get thrown to the abyss. Your light and all. And you hear a stillness inside of you. And so he looks down at you into your eyes again, Celica. Celica, do we have a deal?
While thinking, I'm going to pray out to Persephone. And I'm going to ask her to give me the strength to escape.
Go ahead and roll 5d20s for me there, Celica. You do not hear an answer back. And Viceroy looks over and just pats you on the head. Is Persephone not heeding your call? It's amazing what a goddess will do to sink others' lives so low. Do you think your goddess is all good? Do you think when she sealed the tomes that she meant for it to be good? I think you should know better. And then he puts his thumb right against your forehead, and for a split second, years seem to fly backwards. And you see a large, booming, gleaming crystal tower with Persephone that is right on the top of it. And Viceroy's hands are behind his back. And then you are standing right next to him. You see, he walks over to Persephone, just the image. You see this woman here. She used to be very similar to yourself there, Celica. She used to have high hopes, dreams even, of peace. And then she created the tomes themselves, and imbued those tomes with her very magic. that you are so violently trying to protect, that your very grove swore to protect. And where did that power lead you now? Where you have that romantic partner of yours, Trinistats. And he snaps his fingers, and you now see an image that is right next to you of Trinistats just sobbing over your body, holding you close. And Persephone has done absolutely nothing. When you call out to her, nothing. She only wishes to keep you alive to a certain point, to where she can use you to sacrifice your body, just so she can reincarnate herself. And a huge echo comes through. This is a lie! And then light just pours out from your body. And then again, Persephone is there. She is my child, just like this grove that she swore to protect, and the grove that swore to protect me has... I love them all. And I would never do something like this, and your toxic words, they will never, ever sway over me or my followers, Viceroy. Never! And a huge burst of light again, like, slams into Viceroy, and then he goes down to one knee, and he just looks up. Looks like you have some fight still left in you. Celica, roll for initiative. Okay. Celica, you are going first, and right now you feel the power of Persephone floating through your entire body. And you have Viceroy right now that is currently, like, with you. Your hit points and everything that you know about D&D is about to shatter. I need you to roll 20 d20s, please. Okay. You feel an energy that is pouring through you, and you hear Persephone just echo right behind you. Sweetheart, I am here with you. I will always be here with you, and we can do this together. All right. So, what you can do in this turn, and keep in mind, and ask me if you need me to repeat this throughout the entire fight, because I know I'm throwing you into a massive hot seat right now. You can choose to attack, you can choose to defend, or you can choose to heal. Do you have those three in mind?
Yes.
You can choose to attack, defend, or heal throughout this entire fight, okay? Each of those attacks that you have, you will be rolling 5 d20s for your damage, and you are automatically just going to hit. There is no crit involved, just pure damage. Okay. So, you see Viceroy get up from the ground, and he takes out his staff that just kind of materializes out of nowhere, and he is going to launch a massive dark orb in your general direction, and it's going to slam into your very body. And you are going to take 84 damage. Now, you have... Let me see here. You can see your hip, correct?
I can see. Yes, now I can.
Okay. So, you feel the strike that hits you, and you can feel a burning sensation that is currently in your chest. And you just hear Persephone just echoing in the back of your mind. You can do this, sweetheart. What do you do?
I am going to heal myself.
All right. Roll 5 d20s. And you heal for 48. Okay. Viceroy is going to look back at this and see your body start to glow again. And then he is going to just like slam his staff that's into the ground. Damn you, Persephone! And he is going to look as though that he is going to charge an ability towards you. It is now your turn.
I'm going to defend this turn.
You feel almost as though that there are angelic wings that are starting to sprout from your back, and these angelic wings actually pour over the front of your body, and you are feeling as though that you are starting to brace for an attack. And as you do, this charged ability launches over at you and slams into your wings. I need you to roll 5d20, please. All right. The wings themselves deflect this energy, and in this entire realm, it seems to just echo. And as you look up, you can still see the snake that is currently coming down towards you guys. But this echo seems to actually radiate throughout the entirety of it, and now you hear screaming all around you. All right, it is your round. What do you do?
I'm going to attack.
All right, roll 5d20s. And your golden energy that you tend to see at all times floods your body, not once, twice, but ends up coming out at multiple angles at different rays of light, slamming into Viceroy. And you can see him just kind of wince from the pain, and he just looks back at you. Damn it! And he is going to, again, start to rotate his arms in a circle and launch black energy towards you. And you will take 33 damage. Okay. All right. What are you doing? You're up.
I am going to attack once more.
All right. Do you want to give this one flavor yourself, or would you like me to keep going?
For this one, she's going to hold her hand out to the sky and shoot them upwards into an arc, and they're all going to come shooting down and pulverizing out.
Got it. And so it shall be. Roll some damage. You see these streams of magic just go right up into the air, and stars, almost calling to your will, come crashing down towards Viceroy. And you can see him that he's like trying to cover his eyes and his face. And then you can see that, you hit him, but he is able to get out of the way of some of it. All right. He is going to look down at you, and he is going to just snap his fingers. And as he does, he is going to have that energy start to like flood into him. And it's almost as though dark smoke is going to radiate out of his skin. Okay. You hear an echo of voice, and you hear screaming in the background. You hear Trinostats suddenly echoing out, I don't want to lose you, Celica, please stay with us. And that's going to give you 2 attacks this round. You feel energized and motivated more than ever. Go ahead and roll or do whatever you want. So you have 2 actions that you can do this time.
Alright, I will attack with my first,
Okay.
and then I will take the defend action.
All right. So just like before, angelic wings seem to like sprout in front of you. For your attacking phase, as the angel wings are kind of stretching over your body, it like does it so violently to where feathers fly violently at Viceroy. And as it cuts across his skin, you can actually see where the light penetrated the darkness just slightly. All right. And then as he does that, he is going to charge at you, and he's going to slam into your body, and the both of you are going to violently fall in this entire plane with each other, and he's going to yell at you, "Damn it! Just surrender and I will give you back to your friends!"
I will not give my powers to you. I am a child of Persephone.
And as you are falling, this happens, and light just kind of breaks him off of your body. And now at this point, you two are floating. You can still see that the light is out in the distance, but the light itself is getting shorter, and the snake itself is getting even closer. Go ahead and do whatever you want.
I will attack Viceroy.
All right, roll 5d20s. Okay. He attempts to come out to grab you again, and this time you are ready, and almost as though that you use all of Persephone's magic to put into your heels, and you slam it into his gut and launch yourself off at him at almost Mach speed towards the light, and he is going to viciously chase after you at this point. I need you to roll 10 d20s. Viceroy ends up reaching you, grabbing a hold of your foot, but with that magical energy that is currently stemming through you, you are able to wiggle out, and as the snake is just on you, you are now in range of the light, and the snake's mouth opens up violently and begins to clamp down towards you. And as it happens, you just barely make it to the field itself, and just like when you entered, it seems as though you are sucked through the portal back towards where your friends went, and you just hear, "Damn it, Persephone!"
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Celica, you hear people around you. You hear crying. And the gray that was in your eyes begins to start to take its natural colors. And you feel a very, very large presence literally grabbing you. And you feel incredibly weak to the point of where you are at level 3 exhaustion. And you are just seeing Trinistat sobbing in front of you right now.
Just gonna very lightly, to where it's almost a whisper, just say Trinistat's name.
And you hear that whisper.
And he's just going to push his head up right against her cheek, and it's just a big ol' full face nuzzle, pretty much.
She's going to latch onto him.
You try to reach up your arms, but your body is literally so weak to the point where you can't even move, Celica. You see at this point, as this was all happening, eventually, like a guard comes to the very front. "Oh my God, where were you guys? Like, it's been like a couple days. Are you okay? Like, oh my God, where did you come from?"
Wait, it's been days?
It's a long story. Can we just rest for now?
I just realized I never took away my shadow claw.
Indeed.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. So, I would assume that you guys want to rest.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
you
we
sure?
wanted to go for a walk to Gloomia.
Are you sure? Okay. Like, I guess
I'm
we-
gonna-
It's comfy. Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to look at the guard. We've been gone for days. Keep in
Any-
mind, I'm still in dragon form.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great.
His sword
There's
is
one
his sword is drawn. but he also is intelligent to realize that no one else like seems to be worried around you. And so although his sword is drawn and he doesn't really recognize you, he just kind of looks as though that he's ready for anything.
So we have one boy with a shadow claw and one that's a dragon form. That's awesome.
Yeah, and eventually other people kind of like gather around, and eventually you see that the general also is there at this point, and he kind of has his hands behind his back, looking at Trinistats, looking at you, Aristia. So, it seems like you all have had quite the adventure. And
Not the time.
What did it say? An adventure of a time.
This is not the time. Can we just sleep?
There's people that need to rest right now.
We're all tired.
he nods. And he just kind of like points over. We accommodated the tents with, we have a medical tent. We have a few other things that are out here currently. Just please, like, rest. Do what you need to do. All right. So what do you guys, like, are you going to remain here? Well, how are you guys going to, RP this? Like, what are you guys going to do?
Arista's gonna find a bed. She's not sleeping on the ground.
Okay.
Does anybody want to go to the medical tents, they said, or rest here for now?
I'm going to help Celica over my back again. She's hopefully a little bit more able to assist herself over.
No.
And I'm going to
I
find...
can't move my legs.
No, she can't move.
She can't move at
I
all.
don't think either of you are moving right now.
No, I can still move. I ain't feeling good, but I can still move.
Isn't your movement like half?
Oh, no.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just gonna, again, try to just bring her over my shoulders. Just slowly.
Okay. So
And
you
make
do
my way over
that,
to a tent.
and then people just kind of look at you, and they bring over a stretcher of some kind, and they're just like, Trinistats, here. We can carry her in this more safely.
They'll just see Trinistats tense up slightly, and he kind of like backs up slightly and lifts a wing to kind of hide Celica away.
I will.
Just let them help her.
All right, and he's gonna relent and just lower his wings and let them help.
Okay. So, Celica, you get lowered into this stretcher again. You are so exhausted to the point where, although you know you are safe and you have a sensation wash over you, as you close your eyes, you remember everything that you experienced. And for a moment, you still feel the light that's inside you. But the feeling of the individual is gone. It's almost as though that the light is there, but no one is home. So you end up getting carried on over your wounds, and everyone, I would assume at this point, all of you are just kind of getting your wounds. Like, everyone gets a long rest, mind you, from all of this.
Can I even stand right now?
You cannot stand. Nope.
I'm gonna help her yet again get to her bed.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the long rest, and I want to be as closest to Celica as possible. So there we go.
Okay. Yep, so you are essentially right outside the medical tent during this whole thing. And yeah, you guys get your long rest, so let me go ahead and do that.
Press that one fancy button, please.
Fix me.
What? Look at this already, guys.
Oh my god, I'm so fixed right now, dude.
Big fix.
Okay. So mind you that a long rest when it comes to exhaustion, or at least in this, when you have multiple levels of exhaustion, one long rest will help to eliminate 1 point of exhaustion. Because your body over time still needs to recover. You can't just like have one night after staying up 3 days in a row and then suddenly your sleep schedule is fine, right? So same concept in this world. If you have multiple levels of exhaustion, one long rest will get you rid one. You guys had 2 levels of exhaustion. Celica, you have 3. So after that long rest, you are currently have 2. Everyone else has 1 level of exhaustion.
I have 2 as well.
Okay.
Does Fantasy Ground has any way to keep track of those?
Yeah, I don't see anything.
That's a great.
Mhm.
That's a great
I was
thing.
looking, I don't see one.
So go ahead and just like on your page, keep note in like in your. Let me take a look at one of your character sheets here real quick. I mean, to make it real simple, why don't we just put it inside your log or something like that? Underneath
Yeah,
faction or
makes
something
sense.
like that.
Well, an adventure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we just add an item.
Okay. Awesome. So, now that we've had all of this crazy stuff, I know it was a really good spot at the end of the session, but I am noticing the time, and we are not quite at 2 hours. So we're gonna keep going for a little bit longer if you guys are down.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Without question.
Is Feel still awake?
You do be awake.
All right. Good. Good. Excellent. So. Celica, even after everything that you have been through, you end up waking up to, to the sight of a really long tail that's just kind of right outside the tent. And you have a nurse that has been like changing your bandages and has been just like watching you throughout the night. And she notices that you wake up and she comes on over hurriedly to you. Oh, rest, my child. Like, oh my goodness, like you must be so tired at this point. How are you feeling?
I'm exhausted. All of my magic is spent. I don't know where it is right now.
And she just kind of looks over at you. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but is there anything that I can do for you, or can I get you anything?
The dragon that's sleeping outside.
And she just kind of looks over. Of course. And she goes on over. This is like this in this tent. It's only you, the nurse. There's no one else inside. And she opens up the door. Trinistats?
Yes.
And do you dart up like really quickly, like
Yes,
at
I
attention?
do.
And she just kind of gets a little startled from that. Celica she's awake and she asked if you were around.
He's awake. Okay. Thank you. And I'm just gonna turn and kind of duck past her into the tent.
Okay, sounds good. So the two of you are alone at this point. The nurse kind of saw the urgency and thought, like, two friends should be, alone, and I'm sure, Anyway, so she just kind of bows and she says, "If you need anything, I'll be right outside, and I need to see to your bandages soon, though, Celica, okay?"
That's fine.
And she smiles and walks out.
And I'm going to walk up to the bedside and just look at her for a moment. How are you feeling?
Like crap.
I'm just gonna smile. Yeah, I feel kind of like crap too. I'm so happy you're okay, though.
Me too. Thank you for calling out to me. I actually heard your voice.
I didn't know what else to do. I just thought of just the time we spent together, and I didn't want to lose you. Not here, not now. After the promise I made and everything.
I'm going to start crying and hug him.
So, just like yesterday, unfortunately, you
Oh.
try to move because in every ounce wants to hug. And Trinistats, you notice this. I would assume at this did you stay?
I'm just gonna kind of move my head up to her and just say, I don't know how to really express myself right now, but and I'm just gonna kind of press my head up against her cheek and just lay there for a moment, just next to her.
Are you still in pure dragon form?
Yep, I ain't changing back at this point.
Okay. You can continue, Celica.
I don't know what to do. I don't feel Persephone anymore. I feel her magic, but I don't think she's a part of me anymore. I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
Well, we still have to figure out what happened with your village, don't we? So that's a place we can start.
That would be nice, but I really need to find Persephone. I need to know what's going on.
Wherever you go, I will follow. I promise you that.
She's just going to lay there and from exhaustion just pass back out.
And I'll stay by her side until I am urged to leave by the nurse, I imagine.
Again, you're in clean garbs too. She completely changed you. You are in a white getup at the moment. It's almost as though that it's a turtleneck of sorts, and with all the bandages that are just across your body, you know, you're hurting and you pass right out, like you said. And the nurse just kind of sticks her head in. It looks like that she's fallen asleep. I'll let you stay with her for a little bit longer before I wake her to change those bandages, okay?
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. And the nurse walks away, and as she's walking by, like, the opening to the ruins, she actually passes the general. And the general just kind of walks forward towards her. She gonna be all right, nurse? Yes, sir. She's going to be... she's going to be fine, although that there are some really unique marks on her body, like burns of some sort. I've never seen it before, and her body just seems like it's been through the ringer, and it is highly recommended that she rests for at least the next few days.
Can I do something?
We'll get to you, Nova, I promise. So as this does, he leans back up against the building. And Nova, as you say that, you're in close vicinity of what's going on, and the general, as he leans up, notices that you're currently walking around. What about you, Nova? What do you think of all this?
Just concerned for Celica. Right? There's something that's not right.
I agree. Like, there's something that I've never seen before. I like, again, when the troops came to get us, you all were, you were reported missing. Troops went through the entirety of the ruins. There was nothing found. There was just drag marks, and that we came to, like, that's where it seemed to end. But that being said, we did find a few treasures, that were nice.
Wait, you picked up those treasures?
Yes, it's already, like, back towards the Glumia vault.
What?
And he nods. Well, yes, of course, we scavenged, we made sure to look for anything. We wanted to make sure that anything that was in here was safely secured. So, of course, we're not just going to leave it there for enemies, especially if bandits came on back. We wanted to make sure that if we lost, that at least that everything that was important was gone.
Those are not to be trifled with, nor messed with.
And
You do not know what you are handling.
And he crosses his arms at you. Well, excuse me for literally not knowing where you all disappeared for 3 fucking days. I did what I needed to do.
We knew that we left.
And he just kind of shakes his head. I will not argue with you. I don't know what your problem is, but I made an order, my men followed it, and now that whatever was inside this ruin is safe back in Gloomia.
What's inside those ruins is darkness.
What do you mean? Talk!
That's a burial of yokais.
We didn't touch any of the grave sites. We wanted to respect
That's
that.
the weapons that belong to them.
There were a few items of interest. They were talking about an amulet of some kind that was on the ground next to one of the tombs. They were talking about a shield that was also there, but everyone was fine. No darkness touched anyone. No one was harmed. Look, Nova, he steps forward. Look. And he tries to put one hand on your shoulder. Look. If you want to see what is in the vaults, you have full permission to do that. I don't want to argue with you, as you and your allies have been through a lot. But I will promise you this, and he leans in. The armies of Gloomia are under my command as of right now until we have someone suitable to actually direct them. And that means they will follow my orders, and you will like it, dislike it, doesn't matter to me. But at this point, it is what it is. And he stands back up. Have you heard from Aricia? Has she awakened yet, Nova?
I don't know, but what happened to Celica concerns me, and I need to go see her.
Of course. And he just nods. While you're doing that, I'm going to go see to your friend Agony. I know that, surprisingly enough, even though she's exhausted, I saw that she was outside, just over there, stretching. And so he nods to you, Nova, and walks away. And he approaches you, Agony, that, you are exhausted at this point. You haven't felt this type of exhaustion, you do remember all of the hard and arduous trainings that you did to be currently where you are right now inside your martial arts. And when you learn the ways of how to heal people through striking, that's how you currently feel at the moment when you were just starting to learn how to utilize your ki properly. The general approaches you, Agony, and he notices that you're, doing your normal routine exercises in the morning. Hello, Agony. How are you doing? I'm surprised you're up and this energetic through everything that you've been through.
No rest for the wicked.
What the hell happened in there, Agony? No one was able to talk to me. What transpired in those mines? Why was there a dead corpse that was just lying on the ground?
I thought I picked up that corpse, like I said.
You did, and then you got sucked through the portal.
It seemed like we were ambushed.
In what ways? And he just kind of crosses his hand over his cheek.
There's someone down there, and they had some control over the darkness. And it was more powerful than we had encountered anyone else before. Up until I was able to more or less protect everybody until Nova had showed up and at which point I had collapsed. After that, I don't really remember. I seemed to come to after the assailant was dead.
And do you remember how you ended up just lying down in the ruins?
Well, we were walking to a dead end and went into a portal of some sort. Saw, I don't know. And then we just woke up.
And then he scratches the back of his head, and then 3 days later, you wake up, but it just feels as though it was an instant. Is that how I'm imagining this?
Yes, I didn't realize that much time had passed.
He puts his hands behind his back in military fashion. Agony, I understand that maybe you and I that we don't know each other that well at all. In fact, this is the most I've ever talked to you. And, I'm not one for emotion, but I can tell, or from medical, the wounds that were on you and that slight mark on your neck. It's going to take a while to heal all of that up. And I understand that you are doing your morning routine and you seem as though you have a fit schedule to what you do with your life. But please remember that it's okay to rest. Although I admire you. And I want you to know that. Anyways, and he scratches the back of his head again. Can I do anything to provide? Can I help you in some way? Do you need a sparring partner?
I'm fine, thank you.
And he is going to try with a nat 1. He's not going to fool anyone. You can tell that as he turns away that he has blush, that he's blushing as like he turns away and walks away from you, Agony. Okay. So the general walks a little bit further, and Agony, before I go and keep on with the story, do you have anything that Agony wants to do while I do this?
No, continue with the training.
Okay. 100 push-ups, 100 jumping jacks, that sort of thing?
100 sounds like rookie numbers. Gotta pump those numbers up.
All right, roger that.
Don't forget 100 sit-ups and a 10-kilometer run.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking. 10K, let's go.
Yep, there you go. So
maybe I'll go for a run.
And you do that. You take a moment, you stretch, and although you have a point of exhaustion under your belt, with someone to the point of exhaustion, you're still you're spry and you go for a light jog. All right. So the general, as he's walking through the courtyard and not the courtyard, excuse me, the different tent areas, he ends up walking up to a tent. And that Triniel, you are actually at the moment kind of sitting down next to Aristia, and since Celica is currently MIA, or in other words, just kind of out of it, you're looking after people, or at least trying to assist people as much as you can. And you are sitting next to Aristia at the moment. And the general approaches both of you, and he kind of gives you a soldier salute, Aristia, like a very, very much a relaxed salute, nothing too formal.
How am I feeling right now?
You are absolutely drained, although your body feels like it's fine. In fact, the scar, or the cut that was right across your face, you'd think that there would be a scar left over, but your body seems to be healing incredibly well. And he kind of looks over. I've never seen a soldier heal up so well, or I should say, I have never seen a knight heal so quickly. How are you, Aristia?
Do I feel strong enough to stand up?
You feel strong enough to sit up, not quite stand. When you sit up, you feel a little dizzy.
I'll sit up. Take a deep breath. And then look at him. Like, feeling well enough.
Good. And he looks down. Triniel? And what's Triniel doing? You are sitting on the ground, but what were you doing these past few hours, Triniel?
Mostly thinking of what we've seen in that travel.
Gotcha. One moment as I open the door for my dog, guys. Come on. Go on. Okay. So, as you were thinking about all of that, and I know I've already messaged you a little bit something, you are having that idea in your head of the realm that you just passed through. And then you lock eyes with the general. So how are you feeling, Triniel?
That's a good question. How am I feeling?
You feel, you didn't necessarily go through too much. Besides the being stabbed and whatnot, what happened to you didn't seem to happen to Celica. Thankfully, like, it seemed to miss, like, any severe damaging on the, for your body. No big internal bleeding. The internal bleeding that you did suffer, though, your body seemed to heal fast, almost as though that it took care of itself. And you're starting to wonder if it's probably because of all the shit you have done throughout the years to where your body was able to miraculously do that.
I'm wondering if it would be linked to what I am.
Mm-hmm. A high possibility.
Considering what I've seen and what I know, maybe. It's possible.
Mm-hmm. So the general just kind of waves his hand in front of you. Hello, Triniel? Are you all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm just thinking.
Oh, all right.
Past few quote-unquote days were painful, even though the travel literally seemed like it was an instant, literally seconds.
I see. I'm glad that the both of you are okay. And Aristia, I don't want to alarm you or to alarm the party or anything, but I do bring news from Glumia that I think we all need to be aware of.
Go on.
The messenger from Gluminaria. This individual, there's a rumor with this messenger, and her nickname is the Mage Killer. She's coming to Gluminaria, and she is 1 day away by airship. And she will be here probably tomorrow evening. We've been trying to, get Glumia to look as spry and spruck as it can be, but I just wanted you to be aware that this is happening.
All right, thank you. What's happened with the bandits since we've been apparently gone for 3 days?
The bandits themselves, we actually have spies that are currently, or I should say scouts, that are currently keeping an eye on them. There are some details about that as well. The structures that they are around, the medium-sized camp as well as the large-sized camp. He scratches the back of his head. There's around 212 bandits or so that our scouts are counting. A fairly large force, and in the large fortress, they do have ballista. They have a bunch of other different things that could wage an assault against Glumia, and in fact, I'm worried. So what I've done is I've instructed my men of Glumia to start to barricade, not necessarily to freak the population down, but to move. If our scouts mention anything of movement from the bandits, that our guardsmen will be able to defend Glumia as best we can. To our credit, thankfully, Glumia, as you are aware, the only way to necessarily get on that is through the series of bridges. And if we need to, for failsafe, we will destroy the bridges. But this will, of course, make Glumia a place where we'll be cut off from the rest of the world. So hopefully we don't have to resort to that.
Just from what I can remember, how sturdy did the gate on the first bridge look?
The gate itself, there were two gates. There was a large wooded, like, oak door that shut, and then on the front of it there seemed to be metal bars that just came to latch down, and at the very bottom are spears. So traditional, medieval, what you would think. So there's an iron looking gate or steel gate and a big old wooden door.
And there's no drawbridge, I assume.
Unfortunately, no drawbridge.
It's a shame that we weren't able to deal with the bandits before the envoy got here.
I agree. However, as my old mentor once said, you must do what you have been given, or that my mentor, he always slapped me upside the head. I can never get that saying right. I don't even know if I said it right there, but we're in a really hard spot at the moment. And someone comes running up to him and kneels down behind him. General, word from Valencia has arrived. Go ahead. Valencia has apparently been moving towards Mori, and Mori seems to also be setting up precaution to potentially set up for a war just east of Panotrium. He nods. Thank you. Keep an eye on it, and please have our messengers keep us informed. They nod, and then they run off. So as you can see, this world is very much alive. And I don't know what's going to happen when the mage killer comes to our doors, so he kneels down. Aristia, I don't know if you and your party should even be helping Glumia at this point. I don't know if you guys should stay to the point, because obviously we have to stay to defend Glumia. But I can't guarantee your safety. And he just kind of stands up and has a moment of vulnerability with you, and after that gives you a salute. I'll be on my way. And he is going to just continue walking throughout the camp. Do Triniel, Aristia, do you two want to talk RP a little bit from here, or you good?
No, I'll wait. I'll wait until all the parties here.
Got it. Okay.
I'll just thank Triniel for helping me.
There's no problem. It's just things happen how it happened.
So a few hours pass on by at this point. Aristia, you start to feel your strength come back again, where you are able to actually stand up at this point and, walk around slowly, but you're surely walking around at least. And you end up going up to the general again. The general is standing there. Celica, you all are essentially formed outside of the med bay. At one point, Trinistats, the nurse, asked you to leave, and then you were able to come back in. Celica, you woke up. Agony, you came back from your light run. You are tired, so you couldn't go all out. But now all of you are just outside the tent with the general. And he just has his arms crossed, and he relays everything that has transpired, with all of you. So everything that I have said to each of you individually, now you all know that information. You know about the envoy that is coming. You know about the bandit camps and everything that was told to Aristia. You just have that knowledge. And the general puts his hands behind his back. So, what's everyone's next move? What should we do from here?
Don't take it personal, but personally, I'd rather not meet that mage killer just for personal interest. I'd rather not be there.
I'm gonna glance at Triniel. I'm guessing you are familiar with the character.
No, not exactly.
Then why the trepidation?
Just personal interest. I won't say much.
Kelly doesn't sound like a friendly type of character.
No, he really doesn't. It's an awful name, honestly. Why in the world is he called Mage Killer?
If she's called that, she probably enjoys killing mages.
Interesting
is-
hobby to have.
Do I know how magic is considered within the Empire of Luminaria?
Yes, absolutely. All from your travels and everything, what I will say is magic is accepted throughout all of Gluminaria. There is no like, Templar versus mage from like Dragon Age or anything like that. It's magic and everything is accepted. The general so you don't have any fear of or anything of that nature. Everywhere seems
that's-
to be accepting of magic, in other words.
Then I'll ask the general. Do you know where she got that title?
He just kind of crossed the back his arms and whatnot. I've only heard stories. I've never actually ended up meeting this woman. But she is one of Radvi's personal generals, in which in Gluminaria there are 3 known generals. Gluminaria, the Mage Killer, I do not know her exact name, as her troop only announces her as Mage Killer. And I know how edgy that sounds. Trust me, although we joke about it and we have beers and but we wouldn't want to cross swords. She has
I would
been
assume
said.
she earned the name, after all.
He just kind of nods. She is rumored to be able to deflect magic with just a swing of her sword. That magic is able to just deflect off of her armor, like mages can't even affect her. It is rumored that she can literally just walk up to a mage, slit his throat, and no matter what spell they cast at her, it just doesn't even come in contact. This is the rumor, of course, but it's also rumored that she has faced over 100 mages solo, and that she came out on top.
If I may ask, so you might have said this already, but why are they coming over here?
Excuse me, Nova? I couldn't hear you. The wind got in my ears. Say that again.
Why are they coming over here?
So they're coming over because they have not heard from the governor. The messenger that we sent out previously while you were all to Barkwood, unfortunately, the messenger was stopped by bandits. And the message obviously didn't get reached. So Gluminaria was wondering what was going on, and here we are in this moment.
It's kind of odd that they're sending somebody with the title Mage Killer over here.
You
Don't you
really,
think?
you really
I'm
think?
gonna nod at him. He's got a point there.
It makes a lot of sense when you know what happens.
He nods towards Aristia. Well, let
I
me.
assume we're basically alone and everyone else is far enough away so they don't hear us.
Right. Yeah. You see people that are walking throughout the camp and whatnot. People are stationed, keeping guard, but nothing serious.
Nice.
Have I ever heard of someone being able to just ignore spells?
With that history check, you do know of a mystical armor that was heard of before, back way, way long ago. And you have this moment of just having a recollection that one of your old friends didn't seem to have issue with knolling magic. And I'm gonna whisper you in the chat just so you have an idea.
Whisper.
I get the distinct feeling this Mage Killer is probably not going to be coming for any fun and games.
It's just
No.
so odd to me. That,
Long
more
walks
than
on the
likely.
beach.
it's just odd to me. Like, why a person named Mage Killer?
If I had to guess,
Because
she's
they're
doing
trusted.
that, and I'm guessing she's probably going to be doing some mage killing or killing in general.
Trusted, yes, but it's like, wasn't there said to be 2 others?
The general nods. Yes, there are two others, and I don't know too much about them, to be completely honest, because they are more of info grabbing, more so than battle stories. But I have heard stories about one being an incredible infiltrator, as well as another one just being a hell of a politician. And I don't know too much about them, to be honest. But of course, the Mage Killer I do know quite a bit about.
It just seems odd to me that why send somebody like a mage killer over here instead of somebody like, that would gather information? Doesn't
Well,
make any sense.
It seems pretty obvious to me. I think they
Consider-
already know that we know.
consider
They
this.
know what happened.
Consider this for a moment, and he just kind of scratches the back of his head. A messenger was not received from the governor.
Mm-hmm.
Something that
Exactly.
traditionally was happened. If they know, of course they could wonder what's going on, but they don't know what happened with Gloomia. I heard that there is not only the Mage Killer, but also a contingent of soldiers that are also coming, potentially. So, maybe they think that Gloomia was sieged by the enemy or something. Maybe they have no idea. Maybe there's a force here that's currently sieged and they need to retake it. Again, this is something that, if I was in their shoes, I would rather send a warrior rather than a politician at first.
If someone like the governor decided to secede, how would you respond? You would not send a politician.
It would send an army.
Exactly. Maybe it's a good thing that the bandits are still here. If the bandits are still here and active, it'll be obvious why there's not a messenger that arrived. And we might be able to take advantage of the newfound army to help us deal with the bandits.
At the same time, it's kind of sketchy to me that a mage killer is coming over here. Like they know that there's some sort of magic presence somewhere here.
Well, who else would they send?
Anyways, as this is all going on, soldiers come on up and they salute the general. General, the horses and everything are ready to transport Celica and everyone back to Gloomia. We've laid it out with very soft straw, as you've suggested, as well as just getting transportation wagons ready for the rest of the party. And he nods. Good, thank you. And the general turns to you, Aristia. Please forgive me, but I took the liberty on making sure to get you guys some wagons because it's not safe for you all to be out here in the forest, especially with bandits. If they could attack at any moment, you guys are in no condition to fight at the moment.
That's fine. We should be heading to Gloomia anyways.
I agree.
Good. Nope. Go ahead. I was letting you RP.
Yes.
That's one thing I would like to do, and I want Trinio's help with it. I mean, not Trinio, fuck, I'm stupid.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need?
You still have the scroll with you, right?
Yes, I do still have the scroll, I think. And I'm gonna see if I can find my bag with the scroll in it.
I hope you do.
Okay. And as you open the scroll and open it up, you see a very vibrant map that is currently on the face of it. And it is shimmering, and currently there is a glowing little marker indicating right where you guys would be located roughly.
Oh. Well, that's neat. Take a look. And I'm just gonna show it off to everybody.
And as you turn it around, again, you guys see a map with, where magic sparkles, essentially, are coming off roughly where you guys would be in the world.
I'm actually impressed. It's a well-made map.
I didn't even know it was a map. I thought it was just like some kind of spell scroll.
That scroll can do many things, and I need that scroll for something.
Well, last time he gave it to you, you told me to hold on to it, so...
Oh, I need to hold onto it while I use it, so it's like hovering over the Celica's body with it, because I need to check something.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we'll just both move over to Celica. How are you
You're
doing?
not putting that near me.
It's not gonna come on you.
What's wrong? Is there something wrong with it?
We're not opening another gateway.
It's not gonna open a gateway. It allows me
Even
to
on
catch.
accident, I don't want to be near it.
Look, it's free. Look,
No,
I know you don't trust me.
No, take slow your roll there. As you look at Celica, you can see that there is not fear towards you, Nova. You know, she is literally petrified of the map itself. And she doesn't have any type of like, oh, I don't trust you, Nova, in your eyes. It's just you can tell that she has gone through something potentially traumatic with it. And there is just a ton of, if she could, she would inch away farther, but she's too weak to do so.
Look, I need
Seeing
you.
this, I'm just gonna put the thing back in the bag.
Look, I need you to believe me, because there was something completely off I need to see. Something
It's not that I don't distrust you.
It's something that even concerns me. So if you could, like, I'm asking you nicely to let me see.
Okay. So I can tell that, you know, Celica is probably going to maintain her stance and you're going to maintain your stance. So Nova, I need you to go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me, please. Okay. And then Celica, I need you to go ahead and let me take a look at your sheet real quick for me.
Celica, do you know what this thing is?
I don't know what it is, but I'd rather not be near it since what happened last time.
Let's see here.
It's not gonna know that. Well, I'm not saying anything implying or anything.
Go ahead and roll a wisdom save. Okay. So Celica, you have a moment. You have a moment of just, you are so weak and you are so tired to where you just take a deep breath. And then you look over at Nova and you do trust him. Although you do not like this scroll, you do trust him enough to let him have it near you. And I did this from the dice, just to make it fair, guys.
I'm just gonna look at Celica for a moment. Are you sure about this, then?
The second it's done, take it away.
All right, I will. Promise. And I'm gonna pull it back out and watch carefully as Nova does whatever he's doing.
Okay. Go ahead,
So
Nova.
I form the same shadow claw, right, and put it above the scroll.
Okay.
And that allows me, by doing this, to see if there's still there, like, if there's like any presence of like light or like darkness.
And you can feel, like, from doing this that there is no darkness actually radiating from anywhere. In fact, you... Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you should go ahead.
You don't recognize any darkness or anything like that coming. You don't recognize it inside Celica. And you also don't recognize any darkness coming out from the map itself.
What about light?
You cut out for me the what?
What about light?
The light? You notice that there's not necessarily any light coming from the map. However, from this moment, though, you actually touched the map, and you don't notice any type of burning sensation either from it. It seems that as you guys, you get the idea that as you pass through the realm that you did, for some reason, whatever was causing it to be blank, whatever was causing it to open up the portal, it seemed to actually go away.
Seeing that he's not really seeing me do anything, I'm just gonna pull the map away.
Okay.
So I'm guessing nothing's going on then.
I don't sense any darkness within here anymore, which I would say that's a good thing, but I don't sense any light either. You knew when we were back in the sewer. You knew about Takamaru, correct? Like so.
Not me. Persephone did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. That's Persephone.
I've had Persephone in me since I touched the chest in the Goblin Cave.
I don't, it's like she's not there anymore.
We'll talk about that more privately. I don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah, there's other important things, but that should be something to keep a note on.
Honestly, we should probably head back to Glumia instead of chilling out here in the wild.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to check on. And really quick, thank you both of you.
Needed. We can still talk on the way. We
Excellent.
can just go.
So you end up getting inside the wagon itself, and you are, you hear the strike of the whip, and you are ending up, traveling it like via through everything. The birds and everything are of course out. They are. Everything seems still around you guys, and as you are like going over the hills, again it seems to be a fairly easy travel. It's almost as though they cut away some of the bushes, the trees, to make it a little easier for you. You eventually see Glumia in the distance. The sun is still high up into the sky. The light hits your face, Celica. And as you look out to Glumia, you realize that you all have a long road ahead of you. But together, and with a little luck, you all may see things that you never even imagined possible. And that is where we are going to end our session for tonight. All right, everybody. As always, before we let Feels go, everyone say goodnight to Feels. Good night, Feels.
Good night,
Good night,
Feels.
Feels.
Goodbye.
Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I definitely enjoy the RP sessions as it allows us to bridge any gaps as well as to make the story have a little more depth to it, and it helps to set up the entire story. I hope everyone enjoyed our little session with Celica earlier on, as I put a lot of thought into that, and I hope that she also enjoyed it. So we will see you guys next time in another episode of TLC, or Dungeons of TLC, or whatever we're calling this at this point. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, geeks.
Night.